All right, on Sunday, the Colorado House of Representatives passed a bill that would treat the so-called misgendering of a minor as child abuse, an action that could result in kids being removed from their parents' custody. And they did so after Democrats executed a move that prevented Republicans from debating the legislation. It was House Bill 1312. So what does this tell us about the hold that the transgender movement has on certain states and parties? Joining me now to discuss this, Meg Kilgannon, Senior Fellow for Education Studies here at the Family Research Council. She previously served at the Department of Education during the first Trump administration. You know, at a time when we see, talking about the Trump administration, moving to define male and female and to protect parents and children from this transgender ideology, Colorado's like going all in the other direction.
I think the technical political term might be buck wild. It is unbelievable what they're doing there in this regard. They have passed a bill about having documents be able to be changed, all your birth certificate, driver's licenses, state ID cards, all of that you can change to your new name and your new gender. And then this bill regarding parental rights is really, really concerning. You're basically saying that if a parent does not adopt the name that a child chooses for him or herself, that if a parent calls a child by the name that they gave them the day they were born, that parent is guilty of child abuse, and that the implications of that are that the child could be removed from your custody for dead naming, quote unquote dead naming, or not agreeing that your son is in fact your daughter, or vice versa.
This is incredible.
It's really chilling. And there's that, and then the fact that they don't allow debate on the topic, which tells you that they know they're wrong, right? They know they can't defend it.
That is how the left operates.
Right.
And unfortunately in Colorado, you've got all those folks fleeing California that have brought those values to Colorado and has tremendously changed that state over the last 2 decades.
And legal marijuana.
Yeah.
That has changed the state a lot, too.
They may have been smoking that before they went into this bill. But here's the reality. So this, let me just read an analysis. House Bill 1312 penalizes dead naming or misgendering as discriminatory actions and to mandate the courts to include such claims in determining the allocation of parenting time in custody cases. So this could clearly be used in a divorce situation where custody is being determined about the children. So the children then become a pawn, and a parent who cares about their child and refuses to play along with this make-believe damaging ideology will be penalized by the courts in Colorado.
Right. And we know this is such a destructive ideology. It tears apart families. There are cases of divorce that are caused completely by this topic, where the child is online, decides they're a different gender. One parent goes along, another parent refuses. And so now Colorado is weighing in on the side of the parent that's going along and saying that the parent who doesn't agree doesn't have a right to see the child.
And that passed by a vote of 36 to 20, I believe.
Very close. There were a few Democrats.
One Democrat.
Right.
That voted with the Republicans.
Party line vote, essentially.
But that wasn't the only thing that they weighed into over the weekend there in Colorado. Also, abortion drugs.
Right.
What did they do on that?
Right. There was a bill to, it's a form of a shield law. They would make it possible for drugs to be prescribed, and the name of the doctor wouldn't be on the prescription, simply the name of the practice that the prescription was made from.
So this is we're talking about the mifepristone, the abortion pill, those, that's not required on the prescription. The
prescription, right.
And what's the purpose there? So that the doctor's not identified?
The doctor's not identified. But as a person who takes prescriptions occasionally, if I need to ask a question about that, who am I supposed to call? I can call the practice, right? But I don't know what doctor actually prescribed it. It's a very, very dangerous practice.
Well, and it goes further in that this provision also prevents Colorado residents and businesses from complying with out-of-state civil, criminal, or regulatory inquiries about individuals or entities involved in the prescription and distribution of these abortion pills. This is just what we saw in my home state of Louisiana, in New York, where a New York doctor gave, without even seeing the young woman, gave a prescription that was solicited by the mother to bring about an unwanted abortion through this pill.
Right.
I mean, that's what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about. That's exactly what we're talking about.
This points once again, Meg, to the need of the federal government to address this issue, because they created the problem under the Biden administration. Two aspects of this. One, the FDA loosening the requirements for in-person consultation before prescribing these abortion pills. And then secondly, the Department of Justice saying that the Comstock law does not apply to the abortion pill, meaning they could be been sent through the U.S. mail.
Absolutely. It's incredibly dangerous for women to take these drugs when they are unsure of how far along they are in their pregnancy. These drugs were approved through use at 10 weeks. That is very early in pregnancy, and it's very easily to misunderstand how far along you are in your pregnancy, especially if you're young and you're under a lot of stress. Obviously, you're very stressed if you're considering this dire resolution to your situation. So this is just, we've got to get past the point where we decide that it's okay to kill people to solve problems, including with abortion pills.
The states, as we're seeing here with what Colorado is doing, is influencing pro-life states that have passed laws to protect women and their unborn children. Those laws will be undermined by what Colorado is doing, what New York is doing, what California is doing. And so this is where the Trump administration, the Department of Justice, and the FDA have to step in and address this issue.
For the sake of women's health.
Yeah. Meg Kilgannon, thanks so much for joining us and bringing us this update from Colorado.
Thanks for having me.